Let's start sitting. We'll be working with a few different areas. Side body and inner thighs. And they're kind of related. We don't think of them as being related, but actually the way the connective tissue moves through the body on one side from the inner thigh, it actually crosses over to the other side. So we've got this kind of crisscross effect. And I'll point that out as we come into various poses. Oh, and you don't have to sit on a block. You can if you want, or you can sit on two if that's like put two together, if that's more stable. Yeah. Or actually what you might do is put the blanket over the block so that it's a little higher. Hey, friends. So let's explore just a little bit of movement through this side body. Take the arms out and up. And if it feels okay to interlace the fingers, do that and press up through the palms. And then I'll mirror you here. Go over to the right, so the right side of the waist shortens and the left side lengthens. Yeah. Now we're going to stay on the right and lengthen also the right side body, so you're more in this diagonal line and less in a side bend. Yeah, let's come up and do the other side. So first we'll do the side bend. The left side shortens, the right side lengthens. And then we'll lengthen out the left side and you'll come into more of that diagonal line. And it's okay if the right hip lightens up a little here. Yeah, let's come back up to the center, undo the hands, and give the wrists a few little circles. And then put the fingers here on the front of the shoulders and give the shoulders a few little circles. Great. And then let's just pause here, release the arms, and if it feels okay to close your eyes, let the eyes close, let the forehead relax. And we'll just take a few easy breaths. Now as you take the next couple of breaths, bring your awareness into the side body. And as the inhale comes, see if you can expand outward through the two sides. And as the exhale comes, find a gentle contraction through the abdomen and through the midsection. Every time the inhale comes, you'll let that go and let the rib cage expand. And every time you exhale, we'll find that condensing in again. Great. Just let the breath work go. Allow your head to bow down and your eyes to open. And as we bring the head back up to the center here, those of you who are cross-legged, change, say the other leg is in front. And then we'll take another side bend. So let's take the right arm over to the side and the left arm overhead. Yeah. And then on an inhale, we'll return to center. And the next exhale, we'll come over to the other side. Just stay here for an extra breath or two. Good. And then on the next inhale, let's come up to center. Use the exhale to turn. The chest to the right, the arms come down, left hand to the right leg, right hand behind or on a block if you're up kind of high. Yeah. Let's stay in the twist, but turn your head to look forward. And now stretch the right arm up and over, so we're on the diagonal. Good. Let's come back up and change sides. So right hand to left leg, left arm behind you on the block or on the floor. And then we'll stay in the twist, turn your head to look forward, and now reach the left arm up and over here on the diagonal. Yeah. Awesome. Let's come back up to the center. We'll undo and undo the legs. Go ahead and stretch them out, and you can just move around a little bit through the feet, the ankles. Okay, so in a second, we'll head over to hands and knees position, and we'll be on the knees for a fair amount, sometimes on both, sometimes on one. If you want extra padding, you can set that up. So, let's come on in. And as we first arrive here, just start to move the spine and the torso a little bit. Making some circles or side to side, whatever you like. Good. And then let's take a little pause and we'll all do some side bends together. So bring the rib cage over towards the right and you can let the head turn to look left. And then let's come through the center and go the other direction. So the ribs to the left, the head can go right. And we'll just take a few more of those. So nice, gentle back and forth, back and forth. Good. And then we'll return to center here. Let the knees separate a little bit as we shift the hips back into child's pose. And if you can't go all the way back, just partial is fine. And give the mat a slight push down and forward with the hands. If it feels good to wobble the hips a little from side to side, you can add that in. Yeah. All right, and then let's return back to all fours. Reset the knees so they're not quite as wide. And then we'll take the right foot off the mat over to the side. I'm going to spin around to mirror you. So the right foot is out to the side, hands are still under the shoulders. And let's take some cat-cow in this position. And my guess is that you'll feel a little bit of a stretch on the right inner thigh as we move through this. Good. All right, friends, let's pause here. And then we'll bend the right knee, scooch the foot in a little bit and rotate out so the right toes point off to the right side. And then we'll come up onto the left knee and shin, hands onto the hips. Yeah. So just for a moment, let's find this little tilt going on in the pelvis. So the right pelvis comes down and the left one pulls up, and do that a few times, little yoga disco. Yeah, good. And then from here, let's pause the next time the right hip goes down. Take the right hand and very gently dig the fingers into the hip crease. Yeah. And now let's stretch the right arm out on the diagonal with the palm facing up. And think about making the right side of the waist really, really long. Now, as we lower the arm down, don't change the position of the torso, which means we're not going to go down too low. Back of the arm to the back, to the inner knee. Press the leg into arm and arm into leg gently. Yeah. Now, some of you will stay right here. Some of you will add more of a side bend, in which you'll come over like this. It's up to you. Sometimes the side bend here doesn't feel great, so if you'd rather stay in more of the diagonal, that's fine. And then left arm can go either straight out, or if you're in the side bend, you can do more of a curved position. Up to you. Yeah. It's a variation on gate pose. And then to get out, friends, let's return to center. Take the right foot wide again, sole of the foot to the floor, hands to the floor. And then let's walk both hands slightly forward and slightly to the right. Not too far, just a little bit. Right arm will scoop underneath the left, coming into a variation of thread the needle, but for most of us, we won't go down too low. We'll just stay right here. Keep the left hip right above the left knee. Yeah, are you guys feeling that on the inner thigh? That's my plan, on the right inner thigh. Good. And then to get out, let's reset the hands, reset the knee, come back to center, and just wiggle around a little bit here with the hands and knees in a more symmetrical position. Great. Let's take a brief child's pose again. Feel free to widen the knees if you like. Back we come with the hips, a little wobble if you need it. And then up we come. And we'll do side two. So the left leg steps out to the side. I'm just going to spin around here. Stay in the position and take a few cat-cows. This side's tighter for me. Back and forth we go in the spine. Great. And then let's pause here. It's more or less neutral. You'll slide the left foot in a little bit, bend the knee, and rotate out like we did on the other side. And then you'll come up, hands to the hips. Go ahead and let the hands be just right at the top rim of the pelvis there, and we'll do our little tilts back and forth. Yeah, and we want this tilt really to happen from the pelvis. Sometimes the pelvis gets stuck and then the spine just moves on its own. Let's see if you can get the pelvis to do the movement. Yeah, and then let's pause here with the left hip a little down. Very gently dig the hand in the fingers into the hip crease. Yeah. And now let's stretch the left arm out. Palm faces up. Make the left side of the waist long. Keep it long as you lower the arm. Wherever it lands. And then just very gently here, press the arm and leg into each other. Yeah. You can stay here. I'm going to stay here on this side. If you want to go lower, you can go into more of a side bend. And then the right arm option, if you're in the slant position, you can have a straight arm. If you're in the side bend, you can be more of a curved position. All right, and then up we come. Let's reset the left foot out wide, sole of the foot to the floor. And I forgot to say this before, the exact position of the foot doesn't matter here. Let's let the hands back down. Walk both hands a little bit forward and a little bit left, not far, just like an inch or two. And then the left arm will scoop underneath the right arm. See if you can keep the right hip over the right knee. And just be here for a second. Okie dokie. Let's reset. 2 hands down, 2 knees down. Take another just moment here to take whatever you want movement-wise, or be still if you prefer. Yeah. All right. And then let's do a few symmetrical shapes. Come back to child's pose with the toes tucked under and scooch the knees back if you can. Yeah. Give the mat a little push down and forward with the hands. Possibly adding in a shift from side to side. Good. And then from here, let's pause. Slide the hands a little further forward. Hips will come up as we round the back, going through cat pose. Let the toes stretch back. The pelvis will come forward, the chest will lift, and then we'll bend the elbows and land slowly down onto the belly. Take your time to get there. And then once you do, let's stack the hands. Rest your forehead. One leg at a time. Let's lift up, pull back, set it down, just to give you that little bit of extra room. And then from here, think of zipping up from the low belly, from the pubic bone to the chin. Yeah, keep that little zip up. And then can you lift the legs by lifting the inner thighs? When we do it this way, they're not going to go very, very high. The thighs might not even lift. And then lower down. Take that a few more times. So the inner thighs lift the legs. Yeah. Alrighty. And then the next time you come down, we'll stay down. Bend the knees, give the feet a little swish, just a little back and forth, back and forth. Good. All right, friends, let's lower the legs down. Press yourself back into child's pose again, toes tuck under, but keep the hips a little lifted so that we don't go all the way back right yet. Yeah, now from your position, hover the knees off the floor, keep them bent. And try to give the mat a good push forward as the hips shift back and up, and very slowly start to re-lengthen the legs. And if the hamstrings need a little stretch here, go ahead and take anything. You can pedal the legs, you can shift around, whatever feels good for the moment. Yeah. Alrighty, separate your feet. Bend the knees, walk your hands back, and just prop up for a second with the forearms on the thighs. Can you draw back a little through the pelvis, forward through the chest? Lengthen the rib cage like you're opening up a telescope here. Let's take a little twist to the right. You can lift the arm. And then down comes the arm. We twist to the left. That's it. Down comes the arm. Press into both heels. Use the inhale to grow tall. Arms reach up overhead. And then on the exhale, arms come back down. Stay kind of wide for a second. Soften the knees, soften all the joints, and just in a very lazy way, let your body move around a little bit. Yeah. So we'll take next a little bit of balance work with some side body work. So let's pause here. I'm going to mirror you. Step the right foot in front of the left foot like you're on a tightrope. Yeah, good. Bend both knees just a little bit and shift your weight forward and back a few times. Whoa, I can't even do it. Now, if you're finding this is either really uncomfortable or balance-wise it's just not possible, you can separate right to left a little bit. You need to do that. That's it. And then when it feels like your weight's pretty even between the two, pause. Press down through the soles of the feet. Take the arms out to the side and up. And then we'll add in a side bend. Right hand grasps the left forearm. Pull up first, and then over we go towards the right. And as we're here, can you press down firmly through both feet? Yes. I know, Bill, you've been working on balance. This probably wasn't part of it, but here we are. Now, let's stay on the right, but undo the arms. And now instead of the side bend, we'll be more in a hinge. Shift the weight to the front foot. Kick the left leg out to the side. And now see if you can hover in this diagonal line. Oh, yeah. Make sure you're still breathing. And now let's put the left foot in front of the right as we return back to center. There is slight bend in both knees. That's it. And then a little forward and back. And in some ways, this tightrope position is harder than standing on one leg, just because our center of gravity is less than it normally is, kind of like a top. Yeah. All right, let's pause when the weight's even between the 2 feet. Press down through the feet, lengthen the legs, out and up come the arms. And then we'll take left hand to right forearm. Pull up and over to the side. Yeah. Try to press down evenly through both feet still. And then we'll shift into the other one. Separate the hands, shift to the left foot. Let the right leg come out to the side. And now we get more of the diagonal line. No more side bend. And I'm hoping you feel some work on this right side of the waist. Good job. Down we come 2 feet side by side. Release the arms. Just relax a little bit. Take a little wiggle if you need it. Yeah, we're going to meet at the back of the mat in our mountain pose. Feet can touch or you can keep some space, your choice. Let's root down through the feet. Inhale, we grow tall. And then on the exhale, forward fold, down we come. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we'll come down. Let's go to plank and we'll stay for a second. We're going to do a little add-on. Once you get to plank pose, put the left knee down on the floor. I'm going to have my back to you. Spin the right heel down, turn the chest open, and lift up through the right arm. Yeah. Now in this position, press down the sole of the right foot and take the right arm overhead so you get this nice length on the right side of the waist. When we lift the arm again, if you're up for it, you can lift the leg too. If that's not going to work, just do the arm only. Let's do a few of those. So the arm arcs over and the foot presses down. And then we lift. Yeah, take it one more time down. And then the next time we're in the up position, stay. If you want one more thing, you can bend the right knee and grab a hold of the ankle there. If that's a no-go, just leave it out. Yeah. All right, if you've got it, let's let it go. 2 hands down, 2 knees down, back to child's pose. Feel free to widen the knees if you need. Take a second here if you want to add in a little wobble, you can. And then while we're here, let's do a spider fingers. Perch up on the fingertips. Give the mat a little scrunch action. That's it. And then we'll come forward and down again onto the belly. So take your time to get there. Don't worry, we'll get the other side. Just a little detour first. Yes. And then let's keep the hands right beside the lower ribs. Lift the front of the shoulders away from the floor. And on the inhale, without moving the hands, try to drag the hands back, drag the chest forward. A little lift up, but more of a forward. And then lower it down. Let's do that 2 more times. So inhale, we find that little pull. And exhale down. Last one, little pull. And down. Let's press back. Go back again, just a quickie, child's pose. And then we'll head into the next side via all fours. So return to your all fours. Stretch the left leg back and turn the heel down to the floor. The chest turns open, left arm lifts. Yep, side 2. So in this position at first, the first one will go slow. Press the sole of the foot down into the floor. Take the left arm overhead and think length in this position. That's it. And then we'll lift the arm. If you want to lift the leg, you can. If not, just do the arm only. Yeah, we'll do that a few times. So set them back down and lift them back up. Go one more time down. One more time up, and for anyone who wants to, you can bend the top knee, grab the ankle, take it or leave it. Yeah. Here it is. If you've got it, we're done. Let's release. 2 hands down, 2 knees down, child's pose with toes tucked under. Let's add in a little spider fingers here in the hands. A little scrunch action in the hands. And if anybody wants to join me for some more toe stretching, feel free to walk the hands back and maybe you're here or maybe you sit up on the heels. If that's not going to work, just leave it out. We won't be here for too long. Good. Alrighty, friends. Down we come with the hands. Undo the feet, just give them a little shake. And then we'll head back into our downward facing dog. Go ahead and just get there. And like we did last time, let's take a wider stance. So feet go about as wide as the mat. Bend the knees and walk the arms back. Eventually the heels come down to the floor. Press down into the heels. Use the inhale to grow. All the way up we come. And then the exhale to bring the arms down. Yeah. So let's take another side bend variation. Come on up. And use right hand to grasp the left forearm. Pull up and then over. And notice how it's different. Here we're just kind of pulling on the arm and then press down through the left foot, especially the heel. And see how it's a little extra juicy. Yeah, back off a little. Now lift the left heel, and that should give you a little extra room to go. Can you stay over this far as you slowly set the heel back down? And once it's there, press into the heel. Oh, yeah. Great job. Let's come back up. We'll do the second side. So first, just simple here. Grasp and pull. Over we come. And then feel how it's different when you actively press down through the right foot. Yeah. And then back off a little with the foot. Lift the heel. Let yourself go over a little extra. And try to stay over that much as the heel comes back down. And once it does, press into the sole of the foot. Yes, friends. Inhale, we're back to center. Exhale, release the arms. Let's reset the feet so the feet are right underneath you and take a little hula hoop again just to be done there. Good. All right. And then we'll go the other direction. For our next little sequence, when we get down to the belly, we'll be in I'm just going to do it standing kind of this position, and then we'll roll over onto one side. Sometimes the pelvis doesn't like that. If you need cushion, you could put a blanket right in the middle of the mat so the pelvis has something to land on. All right, so let's be at the back of the mat. Mountain pose. Any way you want to do it is fine. Inhale, we grow. Exhale, we fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, it's a half lift. Exhale, it's down. Let's go to plank and just hold for a second. If you don't want to hold plank, come right down to the belly. That's where we'll be next. If you are in plank, can you broaden the collarbones? Can you lift up through the belly? Think of lifting also a little up through the inner thighs. Yeah. Good job, guys. Slowly here, let's bend the knees, lower them to the floor. Bend the elbows, lower the belly down to the floor. And we'll just be here for a second. Take a moment. Yeah, you can lengthen the legs back. Let's stretch the left arm straight out in front on the floor. Just hand on the floor. Right hand's going to stay put. And then can you lift up through both legs? They're not going to lift high. Draw back through the tips of the toes. Press down into the floor with your right hand as we roll over. We're going to balance on the left. The feet stay off the floor the whole time. Once you get there, flex the feet and pull the legs a teensy bit forward. Yeah, and then we'll just be here for a second. You can lift the top leg a little if you want. Yeah. And then let's connect the legs, point the toes. Control the descent as we come back to the belly. Try not to just flop down. Go nice and slow. Yeah. Awesome. Keep the legs, the feet, a little off the floor. Swap out the arms. Right arm goes forward, left elbow bends. Press into the floor as we roll slowly. Slowly, nice job. Once we get there, flex the feet, pull the legs a little bit forward. If you want to lift the top leg a little extra, feel free. Yeah. And then we'll connect the legs, point the toes, control the descent. As we come back to center, we're going to do another round on each side. Once you've landed, swap it out. Right hand presses, roll over onto the left. And then flex the feet, pull the legs a little forward. Lift the right leg any amount. And if your balance is feeling good, you can lift the right arm up towards the ceiling. Yeah. It's a little similar to that standing balance you did a little bit ago. Let's put the hand down. Connect the legs, point through the toes, go very, very slowly. We'll pass through the belly. And then we'll swap out the arms for our last side. Left hand presses, we find that roll. And then once we're there, flex the feet, pull the legs a little forward, lift the top leg any amount. And then maybe for this last one, you lift the top arm. Yes, friends. Ta-da! And then we'll connect the legs, put the hand back down, point the toes, control the transition. This is our last one, but don't just, be done. Keep going. And then once we're on the belly, let's make a little pillow for your forehead. Relax the legs, let the knees bend, feet are up in the air, and just take either little side to side, little circles, whatever you like here. Yeah. Alrighty, friends. From here, let's lower the legs back down. Press into child's pose, toes tucked under. We're about to head into downward dog. When you're ready, up come the knees, lengthen through the spine, lengthen through the legs. All right, and then to get out of this, we'll meet in a standing forward fold, either feet to the hands or hands to the feet. Up to you. Little bend in the knees. Press into the heels. Inhale, we grow tall. Exhale, the arms down. Nice job, you guys. All right, so for our next set of poses here, we'll do Warrior 2 and side angle, a few different variations, and we'll get to it via lunge. If you need blocks for the lunge, maybe for the side angle too, you might want to have them at the front. All right. So once we're set, let's find the mountain pose again. And you can have feet together or a little bit apart. Shift your weight for a second towards the toes and then towards the heels. Back and forth a few times. And then stop when you're right at the front of the heels. Press down a little extra right through there. Take the arms out and up. Think of lengthening long through both sides of the waist. Let's inhale. On the exhale, forward fold. You can bend the knees as much as you like here. Down we come. Inhale is the half lift. And then on the exhale, lower down, we'll step the right leg back. First, just lunge. Just get there, yeah. Okay. And now from this position, let's turn the back heel down to the floor. We'll come up to Warrior 2. I'm going to have my back to you. Let's be here for a second. Just for a moment, come out of it slightly so the front knee goes a little straighter. Lift the left heel. And then rebend. That might give you the hips a little more room, and then set the heel down. Yeah, great. And now on the back leg, can you press the heel straight down into the floor and try to press it towards the back edge of the mat? Yeah, turn your face to look left as long as that feels all right. And then we'll back off of this, come back up, take the hands to the top of the pelvis, and like we did in the gate pose earlier, bend the front knee and find that little tilt. And then re-lengthen, come back up to center. Do this a few times, and every time you bend, inner groin to inner knee lengthens forward. Think of doing that. Sometimes that inner knee wants to knock in. Don't let it. Good. Now let's pause the next time we're in this tilted position. Take the left hand and dig the fingers into the hip crease like we did before. And for this version, let's just take forearm to thigh. Notice the tendency to come into this side bend and try not to. Make space between the left hip and the left armpit. Let's take the right arm back And do a little slice down and then out along the diagonal. Stay here and find one long line between the right outer heel and the fingertips. Yes. Awesome. So we're going to come up and take another version of the same pose. Press into the heels, bring yourself back up to center. Hands to the hips. Let's again bend the front knee and find that same tilt in the pelvis. And now stretch the right arm out and up on the diagonal. Yeah. Now, some of you, this is enough. Some of you will add on, press down and out through the right heel, take the right arm out to frame the head. If that's too much, don't worry about it. Can you spin the ribs away from the floor here in this position? Yeah. And then we'll come up briefly. Arms go wide. Let's rebend the front knee, cartwheel the arms to the floor, spin the back heel up. And let's set the back knee down on the floor or on a blanket. Just take a little break. If you want to shift back and forth, you can. Either forward, back, or side to side. They're both valid. Good. All right. Let's pause. Have the front knee bent. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. And then from here, we'll change sides. Step the right leg forward. Step the left leg back. Lunge pose. Take a second just to get here. And then when you're ready, we'll turn the back heel down to the floor. Come on up into your warrior two. Take a second. Yeah. And then once you're in position, just a little, come slightly out of the pose and lift the front heel. And then we'll rebend the knee, lengthening the inner thigh as we do. Set the heel back down. Good. Now pay attention here to the back leg heel. Press it down and out. And then turn your face to look right. Palms face the floor. And pretend that you could press down the floor. Press down like something, not the floor, but pretend something's pressing up and you've got to hold it down with your arms. Yeah. Awesome. Let's come back up, straighten the front leg, hands on the top of the pelvis. Rebend the front knee, find the pelvis, the tilt. Yeah, do that a few times. So come on up and rebend. Now every time we rebend, think of the inner groin to the inner knee, lengthening straight ahead forward. Not turning yet. Yes. Good job, guys. Let's pause the next time we tilt. Dig the right fingers into the hip crease, find a little extra, and then the forearm comes to thigh. Can you stay long on the right side of the waist? Left arm comes back. We'll do that little half circle down and then up. And can you find some more space between the left outer heel and the left fingertips? Yeah. Good. Let's come back up. We'll take a little pause before the second version. Hands back on the top of the pelvis again. Deepen the front hip crease as we bend. And now we'll stretch the right arm out and forward. Palm faces up. The left side waist is kind of engaged here. If you like, you can take the left arm up as well. If that's not a great idea, keep the hand to the hip. Press down and out through the right heel. Turn the rib cage away from the floor. Oh, yogis. Let's come back up. And then warrior two, just for a quickie. Arms come down to the floor. Spin the back heel up, take the back knee down. And just give yourself a moment here, forward and back, side to side, or nothing. Maybe you just want a breather. Wherever you are, it's great. Good. All right. Let's pause with the front knee bent. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, and this time let's head into downward facing dog. So take your time to make that transition. And once you get there, for this version, let's go a little wider with your stance. Ever so slightly do an internal rotation. So the toes turn a little in, heels turn a little out. Bend the knees, press the mat down and forward. Press the upper thighs up and apart. Again, slightly through the ankles. It's kind of awkward in this internal rotation, and then slowly re-lengthen the legs. Yeah, pigeon-toed, wide down dog. Great. Let's stay here, redo the legs so they're not in the rotation anymore. Just back to neutral. Bend the knees, walk the arms back, forearms up on the thighs, press into the heels, and on the inhale we rise. Oh, I'm good at the poetry here. Down come the arms, the thighs, and then we rise. Yeah. All right. So we'll come into another balance set. We'll do the first one is the easier one, and then the second one you might go a little more, up to you. So before we do, just stand in mountain pose and shift your weight a little forward and a little back. Now we've done this before. And then pause, and now go a little side to side. And then pause. And now just go kind of random. Try not to do circles, do zigzags or something random. Yeah. Sometimes it feels like this when we're standing on one leg. And if we do it a little bit on purpose before we get there, I find that it's sometimes the brain, it's a little easier for the brain to figure out. All right, we'll settle. And then the left leg stays down, the right leg comes up, and you can hold on to the knee or the shin, and just take a second to get there. Now let's pay attention to the standing leg. Press firmly down through the heel. Yeah. Take the left arm in front, slight little bend in the elbow. And on the inhale, we'll open the arm, open the leg, keeping your vision forward and your fingers and your knee in the peripheral. On the exhale, we come back to center. Take that 2 more times. Yeah. Last one. And then back to center. Release the leg. Let's take a little pause. If you need to wiggle, if you need to shake out the foot, take a second. Okay, side 2. Right leg is the base. Left leg comes up. Take your time to get there. And then once you arrive, press firmly down through the sole of the right foot. Right arm comes in front, little bend. And then on the inhale, we'll open arm and leg, keeping the knee and the fingers in your peripheral vision. Exhale, we close it back up. Let's do 2 more times. And once you come back to center, we'll take a little pause, release the leg, maybe even close the eyes. Just take a moment. Right. The eyes closed, let them open. And then let me explain this next one. The final part of it may not be for you, but maybe one of the steps into it could be for you. So just watch first. We'll be here. And then some of you will come here. Some of you will hold the big toe. Some of you will hold the outer foot. Maybe that's too much. And then you could use a strap if that would be a better choice. Then from there, we'll open the leg out to the side. Press down through the standing foot like we just did. And then on the diagonal, the right leg will start to lengthen. Now, for many of us, maybe this is the place to be. Some of us may be here. Some of us maybe go all the way straight. But what I want you to try to do is keep the knee higher than the hip, even if the knee is very, very bent, yeah? As opposed to holding the strap and having the leg be really low. Let me show you how that would look. So instead of being here, see if you can be here. Are you so excited to try? Let's see what happens. All right, so right leg is the base. Left leg comes up. If you're using the strap, go ahead and set it up already. Yeah, and then we'll take the leg on the diagonal. Press down through the standing foot and see if already you can have the knee a little higher than the hip. And maybe the leg starts to go a little straighter out on the diagonal. Maybe not all the way. And then the left arm can come out the other way. Oh, yogis. Utthita Parshva Padangusthasana. When enough is enough, come out and be done. Ha. Yeah. Good. Do use the strap though. That way the hip flexors don't have to overwork. All right, friends, let's do the other side. I'm going to do the strap first and just see how that might look. So, when you're ready, right leg is down, left leg comes up. See if you can have the knee higher than the hip. We'll take the leg out on the diagonal. Press down through the standing foot. That's a big part of it. When you're ready, if you're ready, start to lengthen the leg. Ooh, maybe you don't go all the way straight in the leg. Yeah, that's great. Keep breathing, friends. And then we come out with control. Rebend the knee. Release the position. And just stand. Yeah, we made it. I was only going to have us do one on each side, so yay us. We did it. All right, let's celebrate. Little hula hoops around in a circle. Good job. Other way we go. Awesome. And then from here, let's just take a symmetrical position. So separate the feet, not too wide, just a little bit. Bend, hinge at the hips, bend at the knees, forearms on the thighs. Yeah. And then like we did in some of the other shapes, draw back and apart through the upper thighs. Shift forward a little through the chest. And root down through the ball of the big toe. Good. All right. Let's root down through the feet. Inhale, we grow. Exhale, release the arms. Okay. So we'll do one more little sequence to get down to the floor, and some of you will do a side plank, and some of you will do the half side plank. We're all going to do the half one first, and you can either repeat that or add on. So here we are at the front, mountain pose. Root down to rise up. Inhale, we grow. Exhale, we fold. Uttanasana. Inhale is the half lift. Exhale, we're down. Hands to the floor. Let's walk the legs back. Plank pose. Regular plank. Left knee down on the floor. Right heel down. We turn the chest right. Lift the arm. And then down we come. Changing straight to side two. Right knee comes down. Left leg comes back. We turn. We lift. And then we're down. Now maybe you repeat that again. Maybe from plank pose, you separate the feet a little wider. Let the heels drop left, the chest turns right, and the right arm lifts. Maybe you say, no way, I'm keeping the left knee down. And then we're done. Hand to the floor, change sides. Heels drop to the right, chest turns left, left arm lifts. Yes, yogis. And then down comes the arm, return to center, knees to the floor, back to child's pose. Any version of child's pose, any bit of movement, any bit of stillness, little wobbles. Yeah. All right, friends. Okay, and then to get out of this, let's come back up to all fours position. And I changed my mind. Just come swing the legs around. We'll sit and then come lay down. Let's have a strap handy for this next part. All right. So from your laying down position, let's put the right foot in the strap and send the right leg up. And just take a second here if you wanted to add in some movement, you could. If you want to just hang out with the leg up, that's fine. Let's keep the left knee bent for the moment. We're going to do one more inner thigh stretch. So let's send the straight right leg out to the right. Drop the left knee to the left and see if you can go at the same rate on both legs. So the right one will want to go more than the left, but try not to let that happen. Yeah. Now some of you will say, I am great here. This is plenty for me. Some of you will say, I want something a little different. You can pick up the left leg and hold on to the leg with the left hand so the foot's a little off the floor. And I find this gives you a little bit more stretch on the right side, but if it's not pleasant for you, go back to where you were. Yeah. Alrighty. And then let's come back to center. Set the left foot down, stretch the left leg all the way long on the floor, and move the strap into the left hand. You choose how far you want to take the right leg. So you could just go a little bit, you could go all the way to the floor, you could go anywhere in between. And then it's really easy to just kind of check out in this position. So do that for a second, just check out. We're going to check back in. Take a just stay where you are, but take a slight bend in the right knee. And then can you lengthen the right side of the waist? Move the right hip and the right armpit away from each other. And try to keep that length as you re-stretch the leg to straight on the diagonal. Press the inner foot as much as the outer foot. Yeah. Okay, friends. Let's come back up to center. Bend the knee. Release the leg and just pause for a second. Both legs bent or straight, your choice. Okay, side two. So, strap up through the left foot, left leg up in the air. Let's keep the right knee bent for now. And take a second here for anything at all, movement or stillness, you choose. Yeah. All right. And then let's pause. Move the straps into the left hand. Let the straight left leg go left and the bent right knee drop to the right. And just see if you can be even on the two sides. And then your choice. If you want to keep the right foot where it is, that's great. If you want something a little different, you'll pick up the leg, hold on to the knee or the shin with the right hand. Yeah. Ready to come out. Tone through the belly, bring the legs back in. Stretch the right leg long on the floor. Move the strap into the right hand, and then we'll take left leg over to the right. You choose. You choose how far you want to go. And then, yeah, just take a second and just kind of check out. And then we'll come back online here. Slight bend in the left knee. Keep the leg on the diagonal line. And now lengthen the left side of the waist. Bring the hip down away from the armpit and try to keep the length as you re-stretch the leg to straight. Press the inner foot as much as the outer foot. Yeah, and that should give you a little extra juice here. Just keep the right leg relaxed for the moment. Nice work, friends. Let's come up. And then we'll rebend the knee. We'll release the leg. Just take another pause, either both legs bent or straight. Take a breath, take a moment. Okay, and then from here, let's rebend the knees and take the feet wide. So the feet are about as wide as the mat. Let the knees drop over to the right. You can reach the arms up by your head. And give the left knee, it's not going to really go anywhere, but just reach it away from your head. Yeah. And then we'll pass through center. Let both legs drop over to the left. And give the right knee, oh yes, a little reach away from the head. Let's take one more on each side. So we come through center to the right. And then we come through center to the left. Good. Let's come back to center. Take the feet so they're not quite as wide. And then take the hands on the thighs and just press the hands into the thighs. Just a little even pressure there. And then we'll take one more thing. So let's back off of this. Take your right foot and scoop it in between the left foot and the left buttock. The leg kind of drops out. For some of you, the knee will touch. For most of you, you'll hover. And if the hover bothers you, you could put a prop under it. Then from here, we'll take the other leg, the left one, and bring it in towards the chest. If that feels like too much, keep the foot on the floor, or you can put a block under the foot. Relax both feet in this position. Take a few calm, easy breaths. And from here, let's set the left one down. Undo the right one, coming back to center. And then we'll switch. So the left one comes under, the right one comes up. Take any props that you need here. And be slow and gentle, really deliberate with what you're doing. And then let's undo the right leg, undo the left leg, back to center. And let's take another press. And the hands press into the thighs, even press on both sides. Yeah. All right, guys. And then let's back off of that. Well, next we'll head into Shavasana, but of course, if there's anything else that you need to do, either movement-wise or prop setup-wise, take what you need. I'm going to shut off some of the lights in this room, so it's not quite as bright. All right, friends, as we head into this final shape here of the evening, see if you can relax. Relax your belly. Relax the legs, the inner thighs, the hip crease, the front of the legs, around the back of the hips, the hamstrings. And as you take the next few breaths, imagine every cell in your body taking that same breath. A little bit of pulsation every time you breathe. Bring your attention back to your physical body. Start to add in a little bit of movement anywhere that you like. When you're ready, you can bend the knees. And roll yourself over to one side. From your side, take your time to come upright, only sitting. Sit any way you like. Hands meet at heart center. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.